Now, Cameroon has crashed out of the World Cup after losing their second game to Croatia. The African side fell behind in the 11th minute as Ivica Olic fired home and were reduced to 10 men after Alex Song lashed out at Mario Mandzukic. Ivan Perisic made it 2-0 when he punished the goalkeeper Charles Itanye's poor clearance before Mandzukic headed home Croatia's third. Mandzukic added his second tape-in after Eduardo's shot was parried. Croatia now faced Mexico in their final Group A game, knowing victory will assure them of a place in the last 16 for the first time in 4 attempts. But Cameroon have failed to reach the second round for their 5th successive World Cup. They, however, still have to face host Brazil and will have to improve markedly in both performance and discipline there to avoid another embarrassment. Well, to discuss this development is Cecilia Omorogbe from our sports desk. Cecilia, so Cameroon is out of the World Cup.
Definitely.
Real surprises coming up out of this particular World Cup in Brazil. Were you surprised about the outcome of that match between Cameroon and Croatia?
No, I wasn't at all, because even before the tournament, when you look at the group of the Cameroonians, it was going to be a very difficult one. Looking at what they've suffered in their previous World Cup appearances, in 2010 they crashed at the group stage, of course, without winning a game, and of course, same thing happened in 2006. They did not qualify. So be proud to that also. The same thing happened. So if you look at the succession in the Cameroonian team, it's not really been a good one. And of course, they didn't make it to the Nations Cup. And in their group, they just managed to qualify, for this tournament. And apart from Samuel Eto'o, who happens to be kind of a leader in that team, you don't really have much players there. Talking about, if you want to talk about other players like Alexander Song, he's not really there, so to speak. So Samuel Eto'o happens to be the only player they have in this tournament, a top-class player.
And the success of the match, actually, the burden of the success was just on him.
And he did not even play. Wow. He didn't play this last game, because the coach actually said he might risk him because they needed to win the game. But because of the injury, he did not recover enough on time to make the bench. So he did not play this particular. But the first game he played, but he was substituted immediately. He came in as a substitute towards the end of the game, and he couldn't make much impact. So after losing to Mexico by a lone goal, we knew definitely Croatians were going to be difficult, because it was even difficult for the home side, Brazil, to even beat this Croatian side. Yeah,
let's talk about the other surprises at the World Cup. Spain losing to Chile. I mean,
I think that's it. I listened to Kobe Bryant on Sunday when he said, we're actually in a tournament that is really unpredictable. I think that's what happened. When the Spaniards lost to Netherlands, everyone felt okay. You have De Bosque had some younger players in the squad that are really hungry, for success, because these players have won everything. Yeah. They won the European Championships, they won the World Cup, of course, European Championships back-to-back, 2008, 2012. So these are players that have actually, they've arrived, they won everything. So everyone felt, okay, maybe against Chile, they'll have to, give a chance to the younger players to prove themselves. But, he actually stuck to those guys who actually help him out, to win the World Cup, of course, European Championship. And that was what we saw. I think the Spaniards were really, really not too good for the night. The Chileans were a far better side.
Well, right now, Côte d'Ivoire is playing against
Colombia.
Colombia, right. Côte d'Ivoire is playing against Colombia. That's the second match we will see before Nigeria, African country, before Nigeria plays on Saturday. Any more surprises? I mean, let's talk about the Côte d'Ivoire team now. How well have they played? Okay, do you think they've been impressive?
Yeah, very, very. I think that's the only team you look at. They came from a goal down to actually beat Japan 2-1, which is really huge for them. I think, but if you look at the groupings of the African side, apart from Côte d'Ivoire and Nigeria, they happens to have the only easier group, but the others had a very, very tough group. Now, Côte d'Ivoire had just Japan, Greece, and of course Colombia in their squad. So if you look at that group on paper, Côte d'Ivoire definitely will qualify. They won their first game, a good one. Now they're playing against Colombia, who also won their first game. So if they win this one, they're already through to the second round with a game to spare. That's huge for them. But I think in this particular tournament, I think I'll even give more credit to Côte d'Ivoire, making it to the second round than to our own Nigeria.
Yeah, sure, you're not being partial. Remember, you're
it's all about what we have on paper.
Well, thanks a lot, Cecilia. Cecilia Omorogbe is from our sports desk. We'll take a break now on the world today. When we come back, the crisis in Iraq continues, while the United States is offering help, hoping the Iraqi government will take it. Please join us again.